Hello and welcome back. This is Mike Alberting here. This was the Mike Alberting channel, and we're actually rebranding to the Motive channel, which is the company that Isaac and I, my partner, are starting. And so we thought this would be a good place to continue, showing everyone what's going on, both with his projects as well as my projects, and what we're doing with the company as a whole. So I'm just going to do a little talk through of the most recent track day I did, which was at Heartland Motorsports Park last week. So I was running in the advanced group this time, which was the first time I've run an advanced group, and that was a huge good thing that I did. The pace of the cars is a lot better, and I was just having a lot more fun in general, being able to fully explore the Corvette and its limits without getting in any trouble. Anyway, so this came in right here is giving me a point by. I thought we could only pass on the left, so like on the inside, and so I wasn't really sure what was going on. I eventually just passed them on the right because I said, okay, so maybe you are allowed to do that, but I didn't know that. You notice we have the low tire pressure blinking on the front right, which means that I took some pressure out of the tires to allow them to get up to optimal temperature when they're hot. Right now I'm still running on Pilot Sport 4S's. This is the last time I'll be running a track day on those tires. They're not bad, they're just not at the level that I wish they were. The car exhibits a lot of understeer, which we'll hear, if you're listening pretty closely, especially around this corner right here and stuff. You really got to manage throttle on the back half of this track to make sure that you don't get a ton of terminal understeer in the lower speed corners. In high speed stuff, it's not as bad, but in low speed stuff, it's not awesome. And by low speed, I mean like less than 70 miles an hour, which I guess isn't that low. But anyway, managing the pressure for the tires really helps a lot. And allowing them to kind of come up to 29 to 30 PSI hot in the Corvette is really a happy zone for them, and they're able to give a bunch of grip then. But I've been loving the Pilot Sport 4S's a lot. They've been really good they've been good on the track. They're really good on the street. I mean, they're the ultimate performance street tire, in my opinion. I haven't driven that many others. I mean, I've driven extreme contacts. I've driven, some more aggressive tires. But these are really the best street tire I could ask for. The car grips in first, when it's 50 degrees outside. And it also does well on a track day like this when the tire temps are, in the hundreds. Not hundreds as in multiple hundreds, but, they're probably 150 degrees or 160 degrees. But the tires are really good. As I said, this is the last time I'll run them. I got a pair of Sport Cup 2s coming in the mail, which will be... the track days are done for the season, but I still have 2 autocrosses left. Unfortunately, Sport Cup 2s are sub 200 tread wear, so it moves me into a different class, but I just want to be faster. So I'm not necessarily shooting out to be the fastest person in the class or the fastest PAX time of the day. I'm just going to have fun, and being faster is how I have fun. So I'm looking forward to those tires a lot. Stuck behind a little bit of these 2 M3s here, which was kind of frustrating. It's me, and I believe there's a GT3 RS behind me, and we were kind of stuck behind these guys, which is pretty annoying. They weren't letting each other pass, and they're a little slower than I was. I was doing the math earlier, and they're about 2 or 3 seconds a lap off pace of what I was doing. So wish I could pass, but it wasn't the moment. And the GT3 RS behind me also, I think, wishes they could pass, but they weren't able to as well. So I let him pass me, then the GT3 RS works his way through, and then I eventually get around these guys once they see that the GT3 RS is, hot on their tail. Anyway, that's another reason why the advanced group is a ton of fun, is because you see a lot of exotics and supercars and are able to run with them, and in some cases keep up and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. The Corvette's probably 2 or 3 seconds off of the the 2 supercars that were there. There was a 458 Speciale and a GT3 RS, which is battling it out with me trying to get around these BMWs. And they're probably a few seconds faster than me, but they're also in Sport Cup 2s, so we'll see what happens. The Sport 4S is a 300 treadwear tire, and the Sport Cup 2s is a 180, so we're getting down a little bit. Again, treadwear doesn't mean anything in real life, but it tells you a little bit of how sticky the compound's going to be. With the Sport Cup 2s, I'm also going to get an alignment. From what I've heard, the factory alignment with Sport Cup 2s. Oh, we can see the GT3S in my rear view there. With the regular alignment, the Sport Cup 2s can wear a little funny, and so I'm going to go to the Fat Motorsport, which is PFA DT Motorsport, or Fat Racing alignment specs for a car that gets driven on track a bunch with not race tires, but with, you know, kind of semi-slicks. So I'm looking forward to that and having that kind of track alignment, getting this car dialed in feel even more, which is going to be awesome. Towards the end of this video, I think at the 13-20 minute mark, there's going to be some extra footage of just some other stuff in the track day. This is just my third session of me ripping around. I gave that GT3S a little bit of space here so he could work his way through those M3s without me, you know, hot on his tail. But as soon as he gets around, I think that M3 notices that there's some faster cars behind him, and so I think right about now I'm gonna try and catch up a little bit. And yeah, I did a little dive bomb there. Catch up a little bit and try and show that, hey, I'm trying to make my way through here. But there was some exciting stuff, as I said at the end. There was a guy in an Audi A8 that had never been on track before ever, running in the advanced group in his A8, and it was kind of tough to watch. He eventually had an off, which wasn't a bad off. It's just like he went on the grass, and I passed him. I was like, Jesus, you know, gotta not be in the advanced run group. This is your first time out, because you're gonna cause problems, and you'll see those problems in a minute. It was like driving with the windows down. I mean, with the windows up, so he couldn't give any point buys. It was ridiculous. Anyway, there was also an exciting moment of this. I think it was on my first session. It was me driving behind a Mustang, and there was a ZR1 behind me, which almost caused an accident. So we'll see that in a minute as well. I'm coming up now slowly, again, getting around this M3 as well. A bunch of M3s on track today. Getting around this M3 as well. Another thing to mention is that on my second session, which is one of the reasons I'm not showing it, is that in this third session, I was able to drive with a few cars, like with this GT3RS in front of me for a little bit, and then working my way through these M3s, trying to slowly work my way up to that C8, which I will eventually pass. And it's just fun to drive with people. I mean, my second session, I was going out and I caught myself in a spot where I wasn't really around anyone, which is fun because you can set some fast lap times, but is not so fun because you're just alone out there, and it's more fun when there's people around that you can kind of pace and look at their lines and all that kind of stuff. So I was doing that, and I was having fun with that. I think next lap is going to be my fastest lap of the day, so I'll kind of walk through that with you as we get over the start-finish line here. I think this M3 is going to let me by in this slower section here, but I'll talk through that. Still running the Power Stop Track Day package brakes. Those have been doing pretty well. Again, we'll see at the end. I include a little clip of what they look like at night, which is just like a fireworks show on the front of my car, which is kind of ridiculous. But they had a little bit of an overheating problem last track day, and I was just a little easier on how I was braking this time, so I wasn't crazy attacking the brakes and stuff like that, and I was playing it a little safer. And the brakes did really well that time. Pedal didn't go long at all. It was just all good. Anyways, this is my fastest lap. This was a 156.083. Coming up over the crest now and coming down into the first two corners. I usually don't go crazy on my braking there. I kind of ease into the brakes, downshift into third, then ease on the brakes again. Come around. These corners are completely flat in the Z06, and then I try and stay upright here and stay in the middle. The middle of the lane feels like it has the most mechanical grip, just coefficient of friction wise, and then diving towards the inside on the exit so I can stay a little bit left, setting up for the next corner. Coming around these, the Corvette around this second right-hand corner where the GT3S just went through tends to exhibit a little bit of understeer, and so I'm trying to just manage that the best I can. You can downshift into third there, into second there, but I just kind of leave it in third and downshift into second later, coming up around this corner, and then matting it in second. And you can't stay flat in this car with these tires right now because you gotta do a bit of a lift. You're going about 20 miles an hour too fast with that sweeper. Then coming down this back straight, we'll kiss about 120 miles an hour, a little bit less, 118 it looked like. And you can attack the brakes really hard here, but again, I'm just taking it a little easier, not going crazy hard on the brakes, trying to break anything. This is my favorite corner. Around this left-hander, you're experiencing probably 0.8 Gs. As you're just flooring it around in third. Third gear pulls really hard in the Z06. So that's a really fun corner. Coming up into this left, you can take that really hot, take it at about 70 miles an hour. And then this left, right at the end is pretty slow. This left-hander gives a ton of understeer in the Z06. You're coming down the hill, and it's kind of just tough. So Then coming around the right corner here, setting up for the entrance onto the front straight. So it exhibits a little bit understeer here as well, but if you get on the gas, it seems to sort itself out, which is kind of nice. So that was my fastest lap here, and I was glad about that because I was able to get around those M3s and do that hot lap and get a new personal best. And then you'll see as we come up over this crest again, we hit some traffic. So good that I got that lap in. I was always happy to get a quick hot lap in to figure out where I'm at. With no changes to setup, I was 2 seconds faster than I was last time I came out. And the conditions were about the same. It was probably 10 degrees warmer, 8 degrees warmer last time I was here, but still pretty good. Again, we're slowly passing through some people here, waiting for some point buys. I'm trying to be cognizant frequently of if anyone's in my rear view and stuff like that. I like to give point buys pretty early if I can. So we'll see. I was going to do that in the first session with a 0-1 that almost hit me, but we'll take a look at that in a second anyways. Really excited to see the C8 Corvette, the Z06 version of that. I think that's going to be really fast, and I'm looking forward to seeing it a lot. This C8 that is on track now is just, it's on track. It's just not as fast as the C6 Z06. So it's going to be cool to see America establish itself again as a people who can make a relatively cheap car go really, really fast around a track, which we saw a little bit in the C7, but again, those cars had some overheating problems and stuff like that, which was too bad for the automatic transmissions, so that was not awesome. Anyway, we're coming down here. I think we're not going to get around the C8 until next lap. I think he doesn't let us around. Again, we're about 2 seconds off pace when we're behind someone in this car's caliber. But still a lot of fun managing understeer again and coming around this front straight. Really excited to have those Sport Cup 2s. I think they're going to effectively change how the car feels on track, which I'm really excited for. I think it's going to give me a lot less understeer, especially in the front, and just provide a level of grip that's significantly higher than what I currently am at, which is going to be really nice. I'm looking forward to playing around with a little bit more stick. I've driven on Sport Cup 2s one other time. I know a friend back home that had a C7 Grand Sport with the full track package, had the carbon ceramics. It was so cool. And I was, in high school, so it was really awesome to see that back when those were new. And we just got around the C8 there. And so I remember from those that even on the street, they needed a solid 5 minutes of getting some heat in them before they had good grip on the street. But I'm looking forward even more to experiencing them on track. Obviously, Sport Cup 2s are known to be a fairly dedicated track tire with street as a more of an afterthought. So, especially at autocross, I think they're going to be really cool. It takes me out of, I've been running in Super Street, but I think I'm supposed to be in A Street. But running Sport Cup 2s, I believe, is going to put myself in Super Street R for R compounds. So anyway, that's the end of the lap right there, and now we're going to transition into looking at, I believe, that Audi. Yeah, this is the first lap out, and I was trying to get around this guy, again, waiting for a point by, and it was just causing problems on track, as you can see pretty clearly here. So I eventually get a point by. You can see he just sticks his hand a little bit out the window. The window's just barely cracked, and I get around him. And then the Ferrari got around me eventually, and then he had a little off, so I think he got put in a novice group after that. Anyway, here's the little issue. So it's the Corvette in front of me. There's a ZR1 behind me, and the Mustang is going to give the Corvette a point by, and I'm going to set up to get a point by from him. And if you look left, boom, ZR1 is right in my, the left side of my car. So I don't know what that guy was thinking. Anyway, and then hard braking, and that's that. So have a good one.